Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. Unfortunately, since my last video my dear mum passed away, so I've had a very rough couple of months, but I'm back now and I'm looking forward to making some new videos. So today I have a video about something which you hope is not going to happen, but it is part of tarantula keeping and it's quite a rare thing, but it does happen, and that is the wet molt. Now, my female Xenesthis immanis, like Colombian lesser black, has had a wet molt, and I could tell that she was having a lot of trouble during the molt, and she was leaking a lot of fluid. So, with your wet molts, you're not that hopeful really that your spider's going to pull through. But I've got a little bit of footage of the molt and also the aftermath as well, so you'll be able to see how she fared. And it's, you know, it's kind of touch and go when a spider has a wet molt. Quite often they will perish, and it's very important that you don't try to interfere in any way, because you know they will become sort of fatally injured or really horribly deformed. So, but yeah, let's get into the video, have a little look at some of the molting footage, and also have a look at her sort of a week and a half later. So yeah, let's get into the video. So this is quite late on in the molt, probably around about an hour or so. You could see that she was having a real problem here. Now her legs all appeared to be out okay and moving quite freely, but couldn't tell what was happening, you know, with the fangs and the carapace. But what was very obvious at this late stage was that she was having a real problem in the abdomen area, and quite a large puddle of fluid was starting to form underneath her. So obviously having a leaking tarantula is a real bad sign. So I didn't have much hope at this point, but couldn't really tell, you know, whether she had an injury and she was bleeding out, or whether it was just her her exuvial fluid, the lubrication, whether she was just producing more and more to try and get out of the stuck abdomen area. So, but really wasn't a good sign at this point. Quite worried that, you know, this is almost certainly going to perish. But we just don't know what causes wet molts. You know, people will speculate, or some people will point the finger and say that you've done something wrong, you know, that you've kept your spider too dry or fed it the wrong food. But I can honestly say, in 20 odd years of keeping tarantulas, this is actually the first wet molt that I've ever experienced. You know, you have bad molts from time to time, but never ever had a leaking tarantula before. So it was a real worrying new thing to experience. But I know from the research I've done over the years, you know, that quite often this is a fatal thing, and or your tarantula, you know, could come out very deformed. So couldn't really tell at this point whether she was going to make it or not, but it really didn't look good. But you'll see later on in the video that she does make it out of this predicament, but wasn't quite right when she turned over. She still had a little bit of the old exoskeleton attached to the abdomen still, but you'll see later on that she didn't look quite how you'd expect a freshly molted immanis to look. She didn't have that vibrant sort of fluffy appearance. But yeah, so she did make it out of this, but it's still very early days. So this is the molt after 5 days. Now, one good thing to come from this molt is that we can definitely confirm this is a female. You can see the spermatheca there very clearly. So that's a good thing, but we still don't know how she's going to fare. So it's been just over a week now. Now you can see that her abdomen is completely matted together. Doesn't have that normal fluffy appearance So her hairs are kind of just matted in this sort of white gunge. Now her abdomen does seem to have dried out now. It's it's quite a nice full size. It's not kind of sunken at all. Underneath her abdomen is normal looking, nice and black, as same as her legs, and the carapace is looking a little bit rough around the edge, but I think it's okay. And but she is walking as normal, and drinking from the water dish, but we won't really know she's okay until she has something to eat. Now, having looked at the old exuvium, her stomach tube and everything seemed to be intact as well. So really hopeful that she's going to be okay. But yeah, quite a different looking appearance. Now you can just see on the back of her abdomen there that her spinnerets, they have kind of fused to her abdomen. So they've got caught up in the matted hair. Now you can also see on the backs of her legs, she has lost a little bit of the hair from her legs, but they do seem to be intact. So guys, this is her 3 weeks later. So I'm really happy that she's doing really well. Now you can just see that her abdomen has kind of dried out now, and some of the hairs are sort of freed up a little bit. But obviously it's going to stay this colour now to her next molt. But I can live with that. Now all her legs, they're all moving fine. She's getting about okay. Just that back leg on the left there is a little bit kinked at the bottom, but it's not affecting her mobility in any way. So really pleased. And also she is feeding again now, so as long as she can poop okay, we're gonna be all right. So really happy about that. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I know it's a little bit of a different one, but just wanted to share my experience with the dreaded wet molt. So thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up, and you'll see me again very soon.